What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rum Pure Sports Showdown show. I am your host, Mangone. I am here with the crew. We're talking some showdown. We're sweating out some football. Let's go over to you first, Kurt. How is your day going? How was the football today?
It's a great day to be a GPP, bro. Under on like almost all the chalk. So lines are doing good. Mixon could have got me a little more as well as Sutton touchdown early in the game, but having a good day, profitable. I had a pretty decent bet on the Bengals money line, so that was hurtful because I got them at plus 400 during the game. But hey, good DFS day. Let's finish off strong.
Yep, was a good day for me. Pretty happy overall. Let's go over to you. Let's go to the new person, Megan. Let's talk with you. Obviously, we got someone new here. People are wondering. Tell the people a little bit about how your day went and tell them some of the content you do over here at Run Pure Sports so you can let the people know where they can find it.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I was a Run Pure subscriber and just love the way you guys play and all your content. And it's been an honor to join you guys now. And I'm writing articles every Friday about Super Draft and Yahoo. And I did profit on Super Draft today, so that was pretty exciting. But yeah, so check out my articles every Friday about Super Draft and Yahoo contest. But I've been playing DFS for 9 years now, so playing experience, like all the different types of contests, classics, showdown, tiers. So super excited to talk showdown with you guys. I am just getting over a sweat that didn't quite get there. I had a nice little Tua, Tyreek, Waddle stack that I also did like a mini with Gibson and ASB. I thought that was super live. I needed, just like Kurt, I needed a little more Mixon and Sutton. So I'm right there with you, Kurt. Yeah. It was so close. So great I'm happy to finish 30th, I think, in the slant. That was pretty fun sweat, but didn't quite have enough there from those two guys. So
I had a good little Wentz stack. It wasn't like the Lamar ones, but I had the Devontae Adams waiting to go, and then I'm still waiting for him to go. But hey, He did get the touchdown for the grandparents. I did hit that bet at least, so minus 125. That was a bad line on Caesar, so it was nice to get that one home. Rubio, I believe you are sweating out these Bengals right now, or that game already ended. What happened there, Rubio?
We fucking lost. We fucking blew it.
So hurtful,
fucking bro. Terrible. I'm gonna say the F word really loud here. No, I'm playing. It's been a terrible weekend, man. I traveled 4 hours to fucking Knoxville to watch my soccer team lose 2-0. I'm managing a soccer team now. We're fucking terrible. I wake up at 6:30 a.m. today. We get beat 14-0 on a doubleheader against Vanderbilt, or 12-0. It didn't even fucking matter. We're just a terrible team. It ruined my morning. But you know what didn't ruin my morning? Big T's core. I'll tell you. I ruined Lamar. I had Amon St. Brown. I had Rashad Bateman, Tyreek Hill. It was a vibe today until the Bengals lost. But now my weekend is back to being ruined, but it doesn't hurt to be a grand richer. But hey, man, I just need to blow off some steam. I'm sorry.
That core was the nuts.
It was a very, very, very good core for Big T. So if you're signed up over here at Rum Pure Sports, you can check out all the core plays and all the content that we have. And we got showdown content, so don't you worry. And you never know when Big T's just randomly going to pop in here. So who knows? Maybe he'll pop on if he's watching. But we got a bit of a rough showdown slate. I'm a Packers fan, but I don't know. I'm not dying to watch this one. But I'm curious to get the takes on it. Rubio, let's shift right back to you because you are the one who does the showdown content and some of the playbooks over here at Run Pure Sports. Why don't you give us an overall breakdown of the slate and then dive into the captains that you're looking at?
You say rough, I say majestic. I love Bear slates, and we also get a cheap Cole Kmet. I just kind of love this. I love the fact that we get some Aaron Jones fun. I think people are going to hop off him, going to see him as the highest priced player, and I just think he's actually going to get touches. He's actually going to trend in the right direction. What's better than prime time Aaron Jones? I remember fading last year against Detroit, and he had 4 touchdowns. I'm not going to make that same mistake, and I recommend that other people don't. But I think this is going to be a really fun slate. I really do. I think Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, you can do some 2 QB builds, or you can just fade Rodgers and stack the running game for the Packers. And you have some options, like Mooney's a little bit cheap. We got Tanyan on FanDuel who's underpriced, and you got Cole Kmet. I think you could do a lot of interesting chalk 4-2 builds, but if you really want to mix it up, I think the Bears give them a game. And I think that's why it's going to be interesting. The 41.5 feels a little bit low. I think it goes over. I don't know, man. I'm a little more bullish on this game than you.
Yeah, it's a shame because I don't think you understand. I'm going to dig out one of the deepest narratives, Rubio, but, Aaron Rodgers, the ex-girlfriend narrative, his girlfriend was Danica Patrick. former Bears fan, and he always stuck it to that team just to make sure that Danica didn't like it. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. Obviously, we have an interesting showdown slate where like we saw all these wide receivers crush today, and it's like, okay, wide receivers crushed. Let's play receivers. Who are we playing on the Packers and the Bears at receiver? That's the real question, because we got running backs you can go to like Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. We got the double running back special possibly. I mean, we got it all here today. So Kurt, let's go over to you. Who are some guys that you're looking at that you think have a high enough upside to be like, Rashad Bateman and Tyreek Hill on this slate? Kurt, you're on mute.
Donkey. Kurt, come on.
Kurt, you're
sorry, I couldn't find it. I was on Saber. Sorry. But first of all, Lazard's in, so that's definitely going to make it very interesting. The Iowa State legend's going to play tonight, first game of the year. He's definitely going to be Rodgers' number one target. You can easily go to him, but I think it really opens up a lot of chances for these other Green Bay receivers to take stabs on. You got Dobbs, you got Watkins, you got Cobb, you got the rookie Watson, who had that drop, who no one wants to play tonight, probably because he dropped that 70-yarder. He might not get him back in the game. I'm definitely going to take stabs on him, but I love that Lazard's in. I think it gives us a lot of options for tournaments and stuff. So I'm definitely going to target that. And I think the Bears are going to backdoor cover here tonight. I think it's going to come out. Green Bay's going to dominate early, and then the Bears kind of just slip in the back door late in the game. So that's how I think it's going to play out.
I'm interested to see how it plays out. We should definitely think about who the captains are going to be on each of these teams, because there's going to be some like guys in the Packers that you can definitely go to that could be really, really interesting, that are just going to be lone guys. Like we think about Watson the other day, right? Watson was one of those players that ended up helping someone win a milli by themselves. We got to find one of those gems. The Packers might have one of them. You just never know. So could the Bears. Let's go over to you, Megan. Who are some of the guys that you are looking at here on this slate to put in the captain slot?
Kind of like Rubio, I don't know. I'm not really interested in the receivers as much, even though we have had such a receiver day. I do like both the Packers running backs. And then am I crazy to go back to Cole Kmet here? He's so cheap. I know usually you shouldn't go that cheap in the captain. He has to do a lot to get there, but at that much you can jam a lot in. And I don't know if that's going to be popular or not tonight, but I'm willing to take a stab or two on some Cole Kmet captains to let me kind of get everything I want to get.
Okay, the Cole Kmet captain. I was not expecting that. I think I'm going to go more heavy on the Packers, but Rubio, yes. How you say you like Bear Showdown slate? So like break down some of these Bears for me. I mean, who are the guys that you really, really like? And who are some of the fades? Obviously, you have the playbook over here on Pure Sports. We got core plays for you guys up there that'll be coming through. Big T's player pool will be up. Who are some of those ones, Rubio?
So I'm not going to fall for the St. Brown revenge narrative that gets played up in my head, but I do like Mooney, but I'm not going to play Pettis. I'm not going to play St. Brown. Really, I'm just going to focus on Fields. I can run him in a 5-1 naked because we have seen that with mobile quarterbacks, and Fields ran a lot last game, but he just didn't really do much. But also the fact that Mooney's going to be his main guy. Cole Kmet's going to be a safety blanket. I don't need to extend myself much beyond that. And the reason why I like Bears Showdowns is because their production tends to kind of just funnel into a few players. It doesn't, not often do you see like 4 or 5 guys get like 5 targets like we see. I think we just see a lot of concentrated efforts where Fields will either run one in, or he might give one to Cole Kmet, or maybe Mooney breaks one off. But I don't have to expose myself to a bunch of guys and feel like, oh man, like we saw with the Chargers the other night, even though I was one build off on the nuts. But it's just one of those things where it's just nice knowing where the production's going to come from. But I'm not going to have any Pettis. I'm not going to have any St. Brown. I'm not going to have Khalil Herbert. I'm going to fade all the Bear scrubs, but I'm still going to play their decent players. But I mean, kind of playing it easy, but that's my view on that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's going to be a fun slate. Let me look at some captain ownership right now, because that's going to be interesting to see who the highest one is. And right now, it looks like it's Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, that was kind of my initial lean when I was watching the games. I was like, probably Rodgers, just because there's no one to really spend on that you absolutely love. And then followed by those 2 Packers running backs. So not a surprise at all that you can go them. Kurt, are you going to load up on Rodgers here at the captain spot? I mean, you said you're messing around with SaberSim. Talk about how you're handling like some of these captains here.
So this will be my first night. I'm not going to max tonight. I don't really feel like it. I just kind of want to go to sleep early. So I'm just going to do like 5 main builds, maybe 10. So I'm not going to do Rodgers at all in the captain. I just don't think his ceiling is the same without Adams. It's just not. These guys aren't as skilled. So his ceiling is definitely hindered by that. So I will absolutely try to get leverage on the 30% that are going to captain him tonight by completely fading that. I'm going to be higher on Tonyan. I'm going to be higher on the running backs. I really like Mooney. I feel like he's going to get like 15 targets now that there's not a downpour. I feel like people forgot how good he was last year. I bet his receiving yards prop last year, every single game, and I'm pretty sure I went like 70% last year. I'm a big Mooney guy, but no Rodgers captain for me. Give me the Tonyan, give me the running backs for Green Bay for captain spot.
All right, Megan, it sounds like you said you were going to like a little more Bears. Who are some of them that you really, really like? Like, is it a Justin Fields captain night? I mean, we always see these like running quarterbacks find a way to get there, even though you're like, hey, the matchup's not great, but it doesn't matter. Like Marcus Mariota is an example. No one thought that he would even do well, but I mean, he got enough fantasy points. Of course, Showdown is a little bit different, but what's your thoughts here on Justin Fields and him, running around there? Can he get the job done for us?
Well, first of all, I definitely think your Packers are winning tonight, and I like the Packers. And I will say I think Rubio said, I think my player pool is actually smaller. There's not a lot of guys I like tonight. But I do like, as far as the Bears, the only two I really love and that I would prioritize in the captain is commit just to be cheap and different and Field. Sorry. So, and I do think I, like I said, was a sub last year. And I remember, was it the Whistles did a call with Big T that it said, do a 5-1 and that was Taysom Hill in the captain, run the defense, this is a little tougher to do because Fields is so expensive, but if you could make that work, it's tough. I tried to play around with it. That one's tough, but yeah, Fields and Kmet are my only two interest of Bears in the captain. Other than that, I like the two Packers running backs.
All right, before we keep diving into some of the Showdown stuff, guys, please hit that like, subscribe to the channel, helps us out a ton over here at Run Pure Sports. We appreciate it. And listen, we got 411 watching, only 67 likes. I mean, come on, we got to get those likes up. We want to keep these shows free. We can easily put them behind the paywall, so let's get those likes up. We appreciate it over here at Run Pure. But Rubio, I was going to pull up the Showdown playbook just now, but I wanted to get your take on like who are like the cheapies that you really, really like that. Like we had Watson, for instance, the other day, like I said before, guy that can get you to the finish line. Do you have any of those guys in mind tonight that can kind of be those big difference makers for us?
I think like obviously Cole Kmet on DK at 2K, that's just a complete misprice. I just think 2K for a guy he's a great talent at tight end. I've always liked him. I liked him in his rookie year. I liked him last year and stuff like that. This price, and I really like that call by Megan to put him in the captain because you fiddle around with it and you can get through Jones, Dillon, Rodgers, and all that and fill it out with just studs. And then you can get different by leaving salary at the end if people funnel into that. But like Kmet's going to be the guy on DK. Tanyan's going to be the guy on FanDuel. Tonyan is cheaper than Kmet on FanDuel. Like he's 7,500 instead of 8K. Like that's just a joke. And Tanyan's going to be Aaron Rodgers' like go-to guy in the red zone. We saw it in previous years. We saw it last year before he got hurt. Tanyan's a great player, 7,500 on FanDuel. I mean, that's where the chalk's going to funnel to. How do you get different? I mean, you can go Romeo Dubs at 7K on FanDuel if you kind of want to get a little bit different. But on DK, I mean, I think maybe I would just fiddle around, just kind of fading like Rodgers, doing a 1 QB build, picking a player between Rodgers and Fields and then not going down that far because I don't really like any of these guys below 3K outside Kmet.
All right. I mean, yeah, it definitely gets rough when you go down here. I mean, I'm pulling out the playbook. I'm looking around for some options that you can go to. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely rough down here for these cheapies. Let's go Megan. Who are some of the cheap ones that you're looking at? Like, I mean, kickers are obviously always in play. I know they're not like $200 options. We should talk about some of the mid-tier as well. Allen Lazard would be there. I know he's more expensive, but we haven't really talked too much about him. So who are some of the options that you're looking at to fill out some of these flex positions?
Well, I definitely have interest in Allen Lazard now that he's back. I do have interest. Like I said, I really do like the Packers. My Packers, build or my Packers pool is much larger than my Bears pool. And so I have interest in the Packers defense, in the Packers kicker. And yeah, like you guys said, down low, it gets a little, and that's why Kmet is the only one that I talk about as a cheaper price guy. But I have to ask you as a Packers fan, what do you think about Randall Cobb? It's his buddy. Do you think he only got like 3 targets last week with Lazard back? Is that an option down low?
Yeah, I mean, it helps, right? Like, I think Randall Cobb, like, he's not known as like a go-to, like number one, which like,
right.
Not that he was in that role, but like, it felt like the pressure on him was too. So now he can kind of go in more of like a, they'll probably put him in certain spots, like in high leverage situations. Like they'll make sure to
Right.
have him in that slot position and stuff. So I think he'll be a little bit better. And the matchup's obviously a little easier too. And last week too, a lot of lineman issues that they had too. I know Bakhtiari is still not there though, so that's obviously a concern.
Right.
So yeah, I think having Lazard will definitely help a little bit. Kurt, how about you? Like, are you going to play someone like a Randall Cobb? Again, I don't think I want him too much. I'd rather take a shot on the young guy, Romeo. I think he's a better option that I would take a chance on. You could go back to, I think his name's Watson too. I mean, he could end up maybe actually doing well here. I mean, he dropped that one ball and he didn't get benched, right? He ended up actually getting like some reverse sweeps at times in the last game. Like he wasn't completely just phased out. So I do think he's still going to get some opportunity. Who are some of these, cheaper off the board options you're looking at, Kurt?
So first off, I want to go ahead and kind of list out the snaps last week. Well, Lazard's back, so I think it's going to hurt Watkins and Watson snaps. But it was Sammy Watkins led it with 41, Watson 40, Cobb 37, Romeo Dobbs 35, Winfrey 9. So you got to think that Watkins and Watson come down a little bit. Lasher probably gets like 70% of the snaps. So I'm just going to rotate Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson. I think Watson just had this one play, guys. I mean, that guy can get open. He's fast. He's got everything in the route tree. He looked good in camp. I hope that people look over him. Dobbs I like a lot more because he can kind of go up and attack the ball in the end zone. So I like that. But I'm going to go – I'm out on a limb and say Watson's my favorite receiver play for the Packers, even though his snap count will go down. I like the price. I like that no one will be on him. And no one's talking about David Montgomery. I'm going to be definitely overweight on David Montgomery. He's not just the stiff anymore. He'd be catching passes these days. So I will have Montgomery. I don't care what script it is. I think he can get there in any script, even though Herbert is in town and taking some snaps. I'm not worried about it. I think Monty will have a decent night.
All right, Rubio, let's go back over to you. I mean, are you any interest in Montgomery? He could be interesting. Let's say you do think the Bears are going to end up upsetting. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff happen in week 1. The Bears could beat the Packers today. Now, I don't think they do. There's definitely some bias here, but let's get your take on it. Is it David Montgomery and like the Bears leading stack interesting? Like you can even do a 5-1 Bears onslaught, Rubio, like get real crazy.
Oh man, that's crazy. But no, I actually do. I'm with Kurt here on Montgomery. Montgomery's a guy who started to catch a ton of passes last year. Herbert getting 9 carries last game, a little bit worrying, but I think it's still 65% of the time share for Montgomery. Guy can catch passes. A guy who's definitely going to get touched around the goal line. He had 17 carries last game, just didn't result in anything against a stiff defense. Dalvin Cook and the Vikings had success, especially in the first half there, and I know they ran it more toward the second half last game against the Packers. I mean, here's my thing. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but that offense really was worrying. So if you do think this becomes a barn burner and stuff, I would definitely have shares to guys like Montgomery, guys like Dillon and Jones. Just kind of hope that, if it does end like 17-14, you get a bunch of these guys who can probably pounce into the end zone, be the ones who actually get the touchdowns, and also, PPR points. And I think Montgomery's very strong in that department. Jones and Dillon obviously are. So, I mean, it's a good way to get different. I definitely am playing a QB, just at least one in every build. But I'm really feeling with a Rodgers fade right now, because if I think Jones has a big day, hopefully those are on the ground, and that might lead me to be doing some Montgomery builds here. So I do like that call.
Yeah, I mean, and whoever says like, oh, Rubio, you're dumb for fading Rodgers. Well, like last week, what did we talk about? We said, hey, you can fade one of Brady or Dak, right? That was like a conversation to have. And then do you know what ended up winning everything? Fading both. That's what, yeah. And again, I didn't ship with it, right? I was not the one who, shipped and won all the money with it, but it was the solo shipper. It wasn't duped. And these are things that we're trying to do. And if you're trying to do that, fading some plays that are high owned is not a bad idea. I mean, if you play no Rodgers and no Justin Fields, how many people are actually clicking on that? I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying, hey, people are not going to be doing that. That is for sure. Megan, what's some of your thoughts on that? Because obviously we've seen some crazy stuff happen in Showdown. Like I said, we saw Watson last week. We saw the double QB fade work.
Right.
What's the crazy route that you're thinking could get the job done here today?
I think that I haven't done a double quarterback fade for this slate in any of my builds yet, but I see your point. Cause like you said, it's sometimes the solo ship is the things that you don't think about. I kind of like more of kind of a Packers 5-1 or 4-2 Packers, but putting a bear in one of the Bears in the captain. I think that's as crazy as I'm getting tonight. Or like Rubio said, fading Rodgers, but doing both the Packers running backs. I think I like that concept or that idea that Jones and Dillon are getting you there. and not
Yeah, no,
Rodgers.
I mean, I like that idea too. Like one thing I did on the Chargers showdown slate that I thought was beneficial for my teams was I noticed a lot of 3-3s obviously were being used, which for most slates they are. And then a lot of 4-2s were being used, but mainly on the Chargers side. And then once I went in and I decided, hey, let me do Mike Williams and the captain and let me play a 2-4 where it's like those two are the main and then you have the 4 Chiefs. I thought it was really interesting and just a different build that other people would not be on. So overall, that was something that got the job done for me. I think that Bears idea, it's not a bad one because let's say it does condense on like David Montgomery. Like he happens, Packers could easily win this game like 27 to like, I don't know, 21 or 14. And Montgomery has 2 or 3 of the touchdowns and ends up being one of the higher scorers and maybe helps you to get everything in your lineups. Because when you do spend up for Rodgers, you spend up for Jones and some of these other options, you get forced into this like $200 range and like 400 and like 1,000. And instead, maybe that David Montgomery and the captain unlocks those kickers then. And those kickers are part of the winner. So there's definitely different ways that you can go that can help give you different lineups. And again, I'm not saying what I'm talking about right now is the correct path. The reason I want to talk about it is I want to come up with ideas. I want you guys listening to do that. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, fading Tom Brady is stupid. Like, okay, sure. But we need to think of different ways that can make us, contrarian and, separate from the field. We also don't want to make stupid teams while we're doing that as well, though. Kurt, give us some ideas too. Like, what are you thinking? Maybe you're thinking like, I'm looking right now. How many people are playing? Like I said before, the Bears, 5 Bears and 1 Packer. Like no one would do that. If you really wanted to get crazy, you could. It's probably not what I'm going to do. Is that something crazy you're going to go with? Or maybe you got some other good idea for us?
I mean, hey, I'm not maxing tonight, but if you are doing a lot of lineups, always do that. I mean, it's crazy stuff happen any given Sunday. I mean, we saw what happened today. It's stuff, wild stuff can happen. But I think another strategy, Packers are implied to score like predicted 26.4. What if one of the touchdowns is AJ Dillon and then Jones gets a receiving touchdown? That's Rodgers 1 touchdown. And then Jones gets a rushing touchdown. What? Those are the 3 touchdowns. And then there's 2 field goals. So you fade Rodgers, you play both the running backs, you play the Packers defense, you play Mason Crosby, and you play Fields or and just pick a random bear. How about that strategy? That could easily happen. I mean, if that could realistically be the 3 Packers touchdowns. So that's a route I'm going to have in a couple of my builds, and then I'm going to rotate which Bears guys I have. And then I don't know if I like the double quarterback build tonight. I don't think it's a high enough scoring slate to do it. I know Fields has been running and stuff, but I don't think that's going to be something I have tonight. So that's why I'll be a little bit different. But so that's what I got. That's my little strategy.
Yeah, I think I'm fading one of the quarterbacks. I think it'll end up being Fields, but we'll see. I'll have a couple teams for sure. Obviously, it's I'm trying to juggle it right now, trying to manage my teams and manage the show as a host. So if you guys could, while I'm juggling this and you're building your lineups, please hit that like. We'd be appreciated. I mean, we could easily just tell Simon to get us out of here and cut the cord, right? I mean, we only got like 25% of you guys who have hit that like. So please hit that like. We would appreciate it. Rubio, I know we got like core plays coming in and stuff. Do we want to give out any core plays? I mean, I don't know if the people have deserved to hear that. I mean, we got a K Phallic core. We got Glock with a core, Uncle T, Hoop, you, Cash core. If we do give out a core, Rubio, who should be the person we give out?
K Phallic and I have been buddies. I tell you, though our soccer takes have disagreed a little bit lately, I kind of want to give his core away because it also aligns with someone on the show too. And it shows a little bit different path, but the opposite of what we were just talking about. So I think K Phallic's core could be the one revealed tonight.
Well, it is a different path. And I will say like one thing, like I'll say to myself too, I'll pat myself on the back. I like some Drake London today. And so did K Phallic. He likes some Drake London. So if you want to get a contrarian, possible take on this slate, guys, please like that video, subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when we go live. And if you haven't signed up at Run Pure Sports, it's a great time to do it. We have all these sports starting up. MLB is going on, and soon we'll have MLB Showdown, which I know Big T absolutely crushes. So you'll be wanting to check out that. And then basketball will be right around the corner. And, we all grind basketball. Kurt grinds out the summer league. Kurt, are there any summer league slates coming up soon or not summer league? What's the other league you play? Euro League.
EuroLeague, baby. EuroLeague starts October 5th. I'm super pumped. We'll have NBA preseason as well. Me and Rubio will be covering that. But we had so many shippers in EuroLeague. If you're ever bored in the office around noon, we got you. Just tap in Run Pure Sports. I'll have the core full playbook. Any questions you ask, I got you.
There you go. So check it all out over here at Run Pure Sports. So I'm trying to think of the route that I'm going to go. I'm trying to run some stuff here to see what's popping up the most, because that's what I did with that Chargers slate, right? I saw what was popping and then went with some other stuff. Rubio, why don't you discuss some like slate fades for the people? Because that's definitely something I know we talked about, obviously fading a quarterback, but who are some of the other guys like you're taking a bit of a stand on here?
I know some people are a little bit high on Cobb, and I don't blame them. Obviously the rapport is there with Rodgers, but he just didn't look good last game. They needed him. They played from behind like the whole time. He just didn't do anything, and it was just one of those things where I'm not going to be playing him. I'm just going to use the eye test there. I know it might not be the most efficient thing in the world considering I don't have 20/20 vision. I have to use contacts, but I just don't think much of Cobb. He's going to be a guy I'm fading, a guy I'm just not really excited to buy. I had Sammy Watkins in the playbook quite a bit high because I really like his talent, but the more I build, the more I'm getting there and stuff, especially with the Rodgers fades that I'm fiddling with. It just doesn't really give me much. What's the word I'm looking for? Ambition that I'm going to ship first or something like that. So I'm probably not going to be on Watkins despite having him. I still like him quite a bit. I have a lot of him on like Rainmakers and shit like that. But maybe he can pay off there, but it doesn't have to be in the showdown. And then I guess Byron Pringle. I was fiddling with him, trying to get him some builds, but I just don't have any room. And I could honestly just go one of the kickers over him too. But it's not really too many stands. I already talked about I was going to fade Pettis, St. Brown, Cobb, Herbert, but I'm not getting too different outside maybe Rodgers, who we kind of already talked about. I'm probably only going to do 1 QB builds at most. Might fiddle around with the 0 QB concept, even though I feel like that was only the second time in like 2 or 3 seasons that it shipped. But hey, that's how you get the solo shipper that we had, because it has to happen once in a blue moon. So I'm definitely going to fiddle with it a bit, but I think Rodgers will probably be my biggest underweight stance.
All right, and Rubio with the quick Rainmaker shout out. Look at that. Rubio, I played my first Rainmakers contest this week and I cashed both of them, but I'm still behind. I still need to catch up, but I got all season to do it, so don't worry.
Free entries all season long, Mango.
Rubio, I made a foolproof plan. I said, these 5 guys, I basically can play throughout the entire season. I can set and forget. And you know what else, Rubio? They all have like same bye week or same like prime times. Like there's 1 week I have to skip. There's 1 week where I'll just say goodbye and I'll take an L. But so far we're cranking the money back. So we'll see how that plays out towards the end of the year. I'll tell you right when I get the even on it, Rubio. That's when I'll let you know for the Rainmakers.
You're smarter than you look, Mango.
Thank you. 143 watching, guys. Please hit that like. We want to get out that K Phallic core. We'll give it out at the 200 likes. That's what we'll do. We need that many more. We'll give out the K Phallic core. Gator Nation, you say that you don't want a K Phallic core. What core do you want? We'll give out another one if you can tell me which one that you want. But the K Phallic core is definitely a different path that we can discuss and should be fun. Megan, let's go back over to you. I guess when you play like AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, are you playing them together? Are you playing them separate? It does feel like that's something in the past that was like a sneaky thing to do, but like this ain't sneaky. Like we all know, like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are both like, guys that you want to play. Like one thing I could see Big T doing on this slate to just try and get different. What if you set a rule that was at most one of Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and AJ Dillon? Like just not a lot of people will do that. And then just like run your 150 lineups. I'd be curious to see what those look like. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but that's kind of my thoughts there on that. What's some of your thoughts there, Megan?
I agree with that would make your lineups very unique to set a rule with 1 max. I'm fine with doing, like you said, it used to be the sneaky thing. It's not really the sneaky thing anymore, but I'm still fine doing that and finding other ways to get different, whether it's leaving money on a table or a more unique captain or a more unique build or contrarian build. But so yeah, I would say that I am doing some of the 2 running back builds today, but I do like the whole idea. And now it kind of makes me want to fiddle more and do the 1 max, because I do think that is going to be super unique.
I mean, you can always fiddle with that. We can say play Justin Fields with the Packers defense. I mean, we can.
I definitely have that. I have. Yeah. I am very much on that. So
yeah, he could throw 3 picks and like run for 2 touchdowns. That would not surprise me at all. Yeah. So I know. Big T has talked about not playing the cheap. He said on the other Showdown show he doesn't like playing the cheap captains. Like I don't know if like a defense captain could work today. Probably not. Not something I'm dying to do. And typically those routes are kind of more duped because what happens is everyone just plays those spend up raw points guys. So that's why I typically like to like kind of spend a little bit more at captain, maybe get into some mid-tier options that people aren't looking at. Like maybe now Lazard captain. No one's seen him play this year. So people might be a little nervous to do that. Kurt, any interest in Alan Lazard at captain? Do you think he's the guy that can get the job done here?
So after I did the build I discussed about
what do you
double
think?
running backs, the second build I had was Lazard captain actually, and I think
Yeah, you can discuss both. Discuss the double running backs and discuss Alan Lazard too, because obviously you like him at captain.
So the double running back, I ended up going. Wait, I'm not allowed to say the full lineup, so I guess I'll leave one spot out. I did the Aaron Jones captain, Dylan, Justin Fields, Packers D, Crosby. It leaves you with about 4-something K. I'm pretty sure you can figure out who I slid in there, because I'm assuming a low scoring game. So you can assume who I slid in. And then for my next one, I did Lazard captain. It's going to be like my one Rodgers line, I think. I'm fading in the rest of it. Lazard, Rodgers, Tunyon, ran it back with Mooney. And then I can't remember what else. I don't want to give it all away. But that was my Lazard captain. Probably going to be the only one that have Rodgers in. So those are my 2 right now. I got like 4 more to make. And I just now put my core up in like 6 minutes.
All right, Rubio. What's some of your thoughts on what Kurt has there with that? I'm pulling the playbook back up again. I'm gonna see if there's anyone who's uploaded theirs in. Kurt said he's putting his in. JSU, that's the one I'm curious to see. I want to maybe try and give away his score if we can get some more likes in, but still don't got that one in there. Actually, Rubio, this is a good question. We haven't talked too much about FanDuel yet. Is this like a good day to hop on over to FanDuel and find some different options? Because like, I don't know, like it's not one of those slates where I'm like, okay, like there's a clear-cut guy that's like gonna crush besides like Aaron Rodgers and maybe one of the running backs. And then it's like real uncertain. Like you can just get like Darnell Mooney could be the highest scoring guy and probably will not be owned in the MVP slot today.
Yeah, I mean, on FanDuel, I'm kind of similar to I am on DK. I love Aaron Jones tonight. I just think he's going to be the top scoring dog. And like we get Tunyon, we get Komet to work with over there, 8K, 7.5K. But the defenses are something to look for there because I don't know. They added defenses this year, right? Like I'm not crazy.
Are we sure everyone knows that too? I mean, 10% of people who play, I bet they don't even realize.
That's the thing. On the first showdown game, it took me until like Thursday morning when I started to build for FanDuel that I realized, oh shit, I should have added defenses to the playbook. Yeah. And obviously, like I don't know why they did that, but you can fiddle around with some Packers defense a little bit here. I know it's just kind of similar price tags like the kickers and stuff, but even the Bears defense as well, if you think Aaron Rodgers underwhelmed. So I'm kind of like fiddling with all this. I think double running back there with a quarterback is so easy to do. You still get a lot of salary to work with because Tunyon is so mispriced, because then you can even get a little bit creative. You have pivots around like Watson, Dubs, and even though I said I'm fading St. Brown, he has 6K over there. So I mean, not many people are probably going to delve down that low. So if you wanted to get like still Bears exposure to a pass catcher, you can get him down there at 6K. But I'm probably going to be doing the same strategy. Like you can just do double running back builds with like Jones and Dillon. Hope they amass all the touchdowns and then run it with Fields. You can even run Fields naked, to be honest. Like I just like his ability to get things done on the ground. All it takes is one rushing touchdown, and it could be a 4-1 build that with Fields is the lone bear that ships it.
Fields with the kicker. Fields with Santos.
That's my perfect segue. Do you know what the Cairo Santos narrative is tonight, Kurt?
I would love to know, because I keep wanting to play Crosby over him. So give me a Santos narrative.
It's National Hispanic Heritage Month. It's the perfect month to play Cairo Santos. I mean, that is the narrative that you need, Kurt, to get you to play Cairo Santos over Crosby. We've seen Crosby miss kick after kick. You're a former football player. I mean, listen, how is this not a narrative you can get behind, Kurt?
You don't have to convince me to play with Hispanics. I promise I'll be playing with them. You ain't got any. Hey. I one of my favorite things to do is play with Hispanics. But anyways, talking sex. Yeah, I like double kicker tonight too. I don't mind it. Of course, Packers defense. A lot of Bears defense isn't even that bad, but I don't want to jam like more than 2 of these like kickers and defense in. I feel like there's going to be enough scoring, enough talent in the game tonight, so that won't hit. So I'm trying to figure out my third captain here now. I think I'm going to do AJ Dillon. I'm going to be over on this running backs, and it'll be the Jones fade. But I think I'm going to have Rodgers in that lineup too, because I want to get way different. I feel like people who play Dillon don't want to have Rodgers in the lineup. I feel like that'll make it unique. Dillon has caught a receiving touchdown in his career, so it could happen. So there's another way to get different for you guys playing in large fields.
All right, can I ask another route that I think could be unique? Let me ask Rubio, because you did the playbook, right? Maybe this is a different path. How is, and I might not be. If it's not, just tell me I'm an idiot, Rubio. Aaron Rodgers with not one pass catcher, like just Aaron Jones and only Dillon, and then find ways to go like like you're still like going like 5 Packers. Let's say you went a 5-man Packers onslaught without any pass catchers, like maybe just not the receivers, but I found a team just now that's a 5-1 that literally does not go a Packers pass catcher at all and has Rodgers in the captain. What's your thoughts on that?
So the day that Jones went off last year, like half his passing touchdowns went to Aaron Jones, like, or 3 of them, I think. So I think it's feasible. I think like these running backs get so involved in the pass game, and that these wide receivers do underwhelm, I guess would be the best word. I think that's more than viable because of how much these guys actually get involved. And, who knows? Tanyan's the type of guy to get 1 for 28 and a touchdown. Maybe that's not enough for optimal at 6,800. So if he threw 2 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns, 1 to Jones, 1 to Tanya, and Tanya doesn't get more than double digits, I mean, that's definitely feasible. I'm fiddling with that concept a little bit, but I think I got my build right now for my main team, so I'm very happy with that.
Are you happy about it? Well, what is it then, buddy? How about that? What is
You'll see it at the top of the leaderboard, buddy.
Ooh, okay, bet.
All right.
Send me that head-to-head.
How about you? Do you like what's like got anything else different for us? We're trying to find unique routes. I mean, I'm kind of cranking through some stuff right now. I got 9 minutes to figure it out and find a team that I got one in right now I absolutely like a lot. Kind of trying to make some more. Got any other unique routes that we could talk about? Maybe if we get some more likes, maybe we can answer some chat questions or something. But hey, we need more likes to do that, guys. Please hit that like, subscribe to the channel. Please, helps us out a ton over here at Run Pure Sports to give you guys these shows for free. But Megan, give me some ideas because I'm trying to find something I can like.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same things I've said, but I really do like just really shifting overweight on either 5-1 on DK, 4-1 on FanDuel, Packers, and just kind of 1 bear. And then in the case, like you mentioned, I love the idea of Aaron Rodgers. I know we talked about just doing like only 1 of Rodgers and the 2 running backs, but you could also do what you just said and no receivers. I really don't like messing with the Packers receivers. When you said kind of what are you Xing out down low, I'm Xing out a lot of the kind of cheap receivers, but I'm also Xing out a lot of the Packers receivers. I really like Tanyan. I like the 2 running backs. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like the defense. I like the kicker. So my core is just kind of a lot tighter tonight, and that could be totally wrong. He could spread it around all the receivers, but that's kind of how I'm landing. And if that's right, that's really going to work for me. If that's wrong, then I'll move on to tomorrow night.
All right. What about any like kind of backups, Rubio, that you're looking at that are kind of interesting? Like, I don't know, it's like the backup running back, like a Khalil Herbert. I don't know. Like we haven't talked too much about St. Brown and Byron Pringle. What's your thoughts on some of those guys?
Pringle's the only one of real interest. Like I'm not playing like Khalil Herbert or anything like that, but Pringle he's a talented wide receiver, and they could do a little bit to shut down Mooney, shut down Kmet, maybe a little bit funnels towards Pringle's way, and he scores a straight touchdown. And he fits a lot of builds in that 5K range too. So if you're expecting the Bears to be competitive, I'm definitely down for that. You know who does expect the Bears to be competitive, Mangone? JSU. I don't want to give too much away, but he does expect the Bears to be competitive tonight, according to those scores.
Interesting. I gotta see if it's up.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. That is.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely that's something he's interested in for sure.
I'm telling that.
Not dying to do it, but we'll see. I got 7 minutes to figure it out. So, Kurt, why are you tailing it? You're talking about why you're obviously without giving away too much, but like, is it the uniqueness? What's kind of some of the thoughts there?
This isn't giving away too much, but I talked about earlier how I'm overweight on Mooney. I'm a Mooney guy, so that's going to be the number 1 reason I'm tailing. And there's a guy who's price strong, and so I really like what he's got going there. So I'm going to tail it as my 6th build right here. And then I also did a tongue-in captain. I don't mind that at all. Ran it back with AJ Dillon. So those are my routes, but wow. He really does think they'll be competitive. I do too. I think they'll really I think Packers are going to come out strong out the gate, and then the Bears will kind of just work their way back into the game. So that's kind of how you can build.
Here's another thing we don't talk about. We talk about sometimes, but Megan, let me get your take on it. Like when you just build out a team, like what's the price difference on these two? Let's see. I got them both on a team right now, but whatever the price difference between AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones is, what if you build an Aaron Jones team and instead you just drop down to AJ Dillon instead and leave however much salary's there? What's your thoughts on doing that in spots? Like you could do that with Darnell Mooney. You could do that with some of these other Packers receivers. Maybe it's going from Lazard all the way down to Watson, just leaving all that money on like a normal team. What's some of your takes on that there, Megan?
I like that. And you guys talk about it a lot because I watch all the Showdown shows. You guys talk about that a lot is, the guy who's priced higher may not be the guy that scores more. And so you're going to get a ton of leverage by just saying, well, I could fit the higher price guy, but I'm going to drop down from Jones to Dillon, or like you said, Mooney to a cheaper pass catcher on the Bears. So I like that concept. I mean, I haven't done that a ton, I don't think tonight, but I do really like that. And I think that is an excellent way to get unique, especially tonight. I just feel like this game, I definitely see it could be a night where, sure, yeah, a cheaper guy outscores the more expensive player for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely can see that coming. You could easily just replace like Mooney with Byron Pringle. Like, I don't think that's like the craziest route to go with here on this slate. Rubio, what's some of your thoughts on that? Is that a strategy that you're considering here today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on a similar boat here. Like, I just think you can definitely just leave some salary. I'm fiddling with it here a little bit. I keep fiddling. I keep saying the word.
Fiddling.
Yeah, because I've been fiddling a lot right now. I got Crosby, but you could easily go down to a guy like, not a ton of options. But like, if I had Pringle money, I can go down to Crosby, or I can go down to Santos and play a kicker over him. I can just do a lot with it, and I don't mind leaving salary tonight. And that's definitely something to where, even though I'm using Aaron Jones at captain, I think that's where it straps me just a bit, because I do think Aaron Jones is one of the top scorers tonight. And I don't think he's going to come in too chalky at captain either, because people are going to see that most recent game. People are going to see AJ Dillon went absolutely bonkers in the first game as well. I just think people are just going to forget about Aaron Jones. So I think leaving salary would be a lot easier if I wasn't on Jones captain. But since I am, it's just a little harder for me. But I totally support that.
If you just pretend that Cole Kmet's 4.5, because it's probably what he should be.
He should be
4.5, 4.8. So just pretend like that, and then it makes it a lot better.
Right. I'm trying to. One guy I do like that we talked a little bit about. I like playing kind of Romeo at the captain spot. I think that's.
I think that's unique.
And the way you're building, have you noticed the way that you're building that? You're not really coming on a lot of these Packers young guys or any of the Packers receivers besides like Lazard. Have you noticed that? So I think they're going to come in a lot lower than what they are expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm locking them now just like to see what's happening and see what I can find that can be interesting based on what I'm building. So yeah, that's a guy that I would like to put there. And then typically when I do that, I don't really want to play any other receivers, right? Because if I play those receivers, what happens is how is Romeo going to be in the captain? And then if he has that big of a game, and then how do the other receivers get there? It's like Mike Williams. You saw Mike Williams crush, then all the other receivers sunk. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Also, we saw St. Brown have a big day. I mean, maybe St. Brown is a big day out of nowhere. That's another guy that I just kind of threw in there. I was like, you never know if the St. Browns are starting to pop off. So thought that was interesting. I think these Bears receivers that are not named Mooney, any of them can just pop off, I think, for a big one. It wouldn't be surprised. Last week it was Dante Pettis. It could be Pringle this time. And these are guys I think people are going to have some trouble clicking on. And not only are they going to have trouble clicking on, when you go onto your teams, we got 2 minutes to lock. Sit there and put in AJ Dillon, right? Put in Fields. You put in Aaron Jones, Rodgers, and you put in AJ Dillon. You have $4,000 left for most of your spots. You're running out of spots to get up in that 5 and 6K range for those options. Especially if you put Justin Fields in. Well, now it's $1,000 for each one. You put in a Montgomery or a Mooney or a Watkins, Tanyan, even Tanyan. Now you're at $3,000. So it gets difficult there. So that's why I think living in that mid-tier for some options could just instantly find ways to make you unique, especially if, let's say you have 3 of them or even 4 of those mid-tier options. It's just going to be a route that people might not build towards, because it does feel like they're going to build towards playing 3 guys towards the top, then maybe maybe a couple in that mid-tier because they have $4,000 left. Maybe they do one hard punt to be able to get a guy at 8,000. Rubio, you're shaking your head. Is that kind of your thoughts on how people are building a bit today?
Oh, 100%. I think it's going to be kind of funneled a little bit. And so it'll be interesting to see where the ownerships come out. I mean, we got 6 minutes left. I'm kind of excited. But we're kind of. Do you think we should give away the cores? Do they do enough work, Mangone?
Here's another thought.
Not at 200. I'm not budging on this, man. I didn't get to watch the end of the freaking football game. You guys got to. I didn't get to see Kyler Murray try to. I don't even know if they won. Still, I have no idea who won that game. Oh, the Cardinals ended up winning. So Kyler ended up planting the bomb in Call of Duty and shipping it. So.
He stretched that one. He wanted it so fucking bad. Oh my god. He wanted to say a Call of Duty reference so bad before the show.
I did, but here's the thing. I didn't get to watch the end of that overtime. You got to watch it. So you didn't give me the likes. I'm not going to be giving you out the K-Phallic core. So when K-Phallic ships, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just what's going to happen. So
I got one quick thing. So if you're playing Montgomery, I think a strategy for the Bears receivers are, if you're playing Montgomery, the way they do this play action with this team, if you're playing Montgomery and you have balls of steel, match him up with like a Pringle or a Pettis, because if the running game is working, I promise the play action game will be working. They'll fight full the secondary one time, and it'll be like a 50-yard bomb, just like it was last week with Pettis. So if you're playing Montgomery and you have balls, pair him with Pringle or Pettis, or maybe it's St. Brown, but I'm pretty sure it's more likely to be Pettis or Pringle.
Yeah, and then ideally, Kurt, you're hoping that you're hoping like Justin Fields is not winning it with his legs and it's being won on the ground by Montgomery, and he's hitting some of those play action passes, and then you're hoping on the way back, if you do decide not to play Fields and you're just playing those two, then you're hoping those other Packers that are expensive get the job done, right? I mean, you could play Fields in that build, but that's kind of the thought process there, right, Kurt?
Exactly.
I agree with you on that for sure. I mean, you can tell when you're watching a game sometimes, like a team is absolute dust, but I'll say this, we all thought the Cardinals were dust, and then, man, they ended up turning that thing around.
They were alive.
Yeah.
They were dead. Kyler was going back to the MLB at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was checking his voicemails, as Big T said on Twitter, which was a pretty good one there. But yeah, I mean, we obviously got Lock. We talk quick about some ownership if you guys want, and then we can get on out of here. I don't know if it should be locked up and should be saying
8:20, man, going.
What?
8:20.
Tomorrow's 8:15.
Oh gosh, I always get that confused.
Extra 5 minutes is so clutch.
Oh, so
there's some questions I think in the YouTube chat. I think we got a Lewis versus Griffin dart throw.
Oh man, I mean,
Mercedes Lewis.
Rubio, you can answer
Mercedes
that.
love to score on these primetime slates.
I will say Griffin got 2 targets last game.
Rogers normally gives Mercedes Lewis the touchdown in like the games that it's like, if I'm playing Mercedes Lewis, it's probably in the 5-1 Packers. He's doing it in the games where like they're just up like 28-3, and he's like, okay, like we're at the 1, like let me gift my buddy a touchdown, because he likes Mercedes Lewis. So that would be my take there. So yeah, Lewis versus Griffin, probably Lewis if I had to pick, and it'd be more in an onslaught build. If you guys do get the likes up, I'll give out that play. I thought it was about the lock, so that's on me. But if you can keep pushing them home, we would appreciate it. Favorite young Green Bay receiver, Kyle Brown. Mine is Mr. Romeo. Kurt, who's your favorite young Green Bay receiver for this slate?
As a long-term player, I like Romeo better, but I just have a feeling about Watson tonight because he dropped that pass last week. It's just so he sucks. He's going to never be good in the NFL, so I'm going to play Watson.
All right, Megan, let's go to you. Someone said nobody is on Sammy Watkins. So, like, are you on Sammy Watkins? Do you think he's going to be an interesting play to go to here?
I am not on Sammy Watkins, so I can't say that I'm going to be contrarian if nobody is. I guess that is something to consider, but I am not on Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, all right. Well, if there's a Sammy Watkins touchdown, Megan will not be jumping up and down excited about it. I don't think I will either. I'll be like, okay, whatever. The Packers scored, great, but I don't know. I mean, I care about DFS more than I do about my team. Rubio, any Sammy Watkins for you?
No Sammy Watkins. I'm just still stuck on the fact that you chose Mercedes Lewis over Ryan Griffin. I don't know. I just think that's the wrong call there. I think Griffin's definitely going to outscore Mercedes Lewis tonight, Mangone.
I mean, that's fine. You can. I mean, they're both awful. So I mean, I'm not.
What about Degura? Degura got a couple targets last week, right?
Yeah, 2,800. Oh my God, it's
he
tough.
Could be just a sneaky. He's too expensive to,
that's true.
Dirt cheap. So
he is 6K on FanDuel. I can definitely get behind him on there, especially because he's a touchdown red zone guy.
Right.
I don't hate it.
The backup tight ends are like the thing in Showdown.
That's true. That is we forgot that narrative. Mangone, you're lacking right now.
Rubio, the last time that I played Mercedes Lewis, he was in a core of mine. If you remember on Showdown, I cored the guy and he got a touchdown. Okay. So I'm not
So why didn't you do it this time?
Because I don't think today's the day we core him, but I'm going to say.
Then why'd you tell him Mercedes Lewis over Ryan Griffin? You're just lying to him.
Ryan Griffin's good. I mean, I don't think he does anything today. So there we go. You can have him, Rubio. You can have Ryan Griffin. I would love to make a sweat bet of Mercedes Lewis.
That's what I kind of wanted. You want to do $50 on it, Mango?
I do not want to. I'm gonna take my giblets from Snyder for the Dolphins over the Ravens and take that.
Snyder made a mistake at halftime, tweeting rookie head coach on the road. People be betting that, and then
yeah. I mean, it was a fun game though. I'll say that. And the Ravens were impressive. They just I don't know what happened in the fourth. I mean, I actually was trying to make some late swaps and looking at some stuff. So I kind of like I was downstairs and I saw Tyreek Hill for 10 points. I heard he got shot up right with the IV for the cramps, and then boom, I was done and he had 40 DK points. I was like, that was great. That's exactly what I was hoping for. We got Gator Nation in the chat saying, great show, guys and gals. Thank you for joining us, Gator Nation 15. We appreciate having you here. What else we got here? Someone asked about the Cole Kmet fade. So he'll be ridiculously owned. Well, I think we're at lock time where I can say, hey, Kay Fallick is playing Cole Kmet in the captain spot.
All right. I'm with Kay Fallick. I like it.
Yeah. So if Kay Fallick, if the Cole Kmet touchdown happens, you're going to be like, man, I should have got that to 200 likes. You're going to realize it was a huge mistake. But yeah, overall, guys, again, if you do like the content that we have at Rumpier, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when we go live. We'll have tons of content for you coming up this weekend. I mean, we probably will. I don't know if we're gonna have a showdown show. Maybe Simon can be in my ear because we got a 2-game slate, right? I don't know if it's a 2-game slate show or a showdown show, but
nice.
All right, I've been told Whistles will be here tomorrow, possibly. So if you can get a showdown show at Whistles, imagine not subscribing to the channel. Check that out. I know you guys are getting out of here, though, obviously, because the football game's starting and you want to go watch it. And I didn't get to watch the end of the last football game, so I don't want to miss this football game. But Rubio, before we get out of here, what's the winning team? What is the winning build? Is it 5-1, 1-5? What is it? Tell the people.
4-2 Packers, Aaron Jones captain, Aaron Rodgers fade, Robert Tonyan touchdown.
All right. For me, I'm going to say it's 5-1 Packers. There we go, Rubio. It's going to be a beatdown. Kurt, what is your build?
4-2 Bears.
All right. 4-2
Bears. Two guys for the
Kurt.
Packers go off. Packers win the game. 4-2 Bears. It's to the backdoor cover. Gets me in there.
All right. Megan, tell us what yours is. But before we do that, Bill Miner says, nice to see Megan. Thanks.
Hello.
Our boy Uncle T says, great for a show. So, Megan, real quick, tell the people what content you do at Rumpier so they know that, and then tell the people to build, and then we will get on out of here.
Yes, every Friday night you can check out. I do an article about the my favorite core plays at SuperDraft on SuperDraft and Yahoo. So Friday night, Saturday morning, check that out, and I will have all my core plays. And I did profit on SuperDraft this week, so I'm excited. I'm just going to keep that rolling. For tonight, I like 4-2 Packers, but Kmet and the captain. So.
All right. Well, there it is. That's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the Showdown Show. We will see you next week, but hopefully we see you sooner on some of these other shows like the Showdown Show tomorrow with Whistles Go Woo. So subscribe to the channel, hit the like out the door. Thanks a lot for joining me, Rubio, Megan, and Kurt. We'll see you guys later.